2023 brought us some questionable things, to say the least, and it felt like League was going into a bit of a rut. That was until they released the new game mode Arena. It was a new experience that brought in so many people, both old and new. And then after that, they showed what was being changed in the Rift. At first, personally, I was a little on the fence about them changing the Rift so drastically. But once I played it, it feels fantastic. Top is now harder to gank, so take that all you fucking junglers who perma-gank me, please leave me alone! Mid lane is also wider, which makes it harder to gank and tower dive due to there being more areas where the tower can shoot you within range. And don't get me started on the new items. All of that and more will be reserved for another video for another time. Today, we are discussing and going over the 2024 first look on what will come out this year as well as in the near future. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Now, before I actually get into the video, on January the 4th, the first teaser for the new Dragon ADC came out, Smolder, and I'm gonna be entirely honest. His design overall for a cute small dragon is pretty cool, it's just the face. I don't like it. It feels way too human and doesn't lean more into the dragon territory with that being a scaly pointed face. Hey, it's me, Future Madamer. I just wanted to add that they actually took the criticisms people were giving them to heart, and they actually showed us an adjustment to his face, and I gotta say, it's a heck of a lot better than his previous one. Good on them for listening to the community and taking quick action. Okay, now back to the video. Now, actually getting into the video, we have Meddler and Brightmoon introducing us into what is to come for the 2024 year. I feel like I should mention, since they also mentioned that they were filming this in November of last year, so things might change from that date, so keep that in mind. They announced that in 5 days from the release of the video, the new Summoner's Rift will be presented with new objectives, map changes, items, and the cinematic will be released on the 10th of January. I cannot tell you how hyped I am for this season, and we've barely got 3 minutes into the dev video. The discussion is then transferred to Froxen to talk about the new rank changes, referencing the addition to the Emerald rank they put in last year. The main topic about ranked for this section was the placement of different ranks. For instance, if you were Silver and played ranked, there were chances you went up against a Plat player, someone 2 ranks above you. And I can agree, I've had my fair share of those experiences. They are not fun at all. So I'm really glad they are taking action to ensure that things are more fair for everyone. That way, you aren't playing against someone either way below or way above your skill level. The next section in the video we have Riot Lexicol and Soapbox to discuss champions, both old and upcoming new ones. The first champion they talk about is Skarner, and we finally see some in what looks to be mostly finalized in-game footage of him that wasn't just concept videos. They talk about how Skarner was a founding member of the Yuntal, where he helped guide and shape Ixtal. Quote, Soapbox. He further comments that Skarner was suspicious of the outside world, and will basically destroy anyone who wants to disrupt that peace. Pretty metal if you ask me. We then go on to the 2 other champion updates. The first one they have not discussed before, but it is someone you might have seen before. The show we all know and love, Arcane. I am all for VGUs and skins that relate to Arcane. Seeing them release the Arcane versions of Jinx, Jace, Vi, and Caitlyn, her specifically being adjusted visually and narratively to fit her Arcane version, was a great way to freshen up a champion that was nearly released 10 years ago. What do you mean she was released in 2011? 2011 was like 10 years ago, right? Right? The other champion that is being changed is Shyvana, and whoa mama, big lady. I think we know which one will be the best one to choose from. Right, fellas? Although great news to all Shyvana mains and fans that it seems like they're tackling the strong woman archetype for her, rather than making them have the muscle mass of a twig. Unlike me. It'll be nice to see some strong women that look like physically strong champions like Alawi and... yeah, moving on. She will be released next year in 2025, after the Arcane VGU, which gives them plenty of time to cook up that 5-star meal. Finishing up the champion section is game footage for Smolder, which is it just me, or does this feel like the fastest gameplay footage for a champion after they've been teased? I have not seen any leaks or anything for Smolder since his initial announcement last year. Good for you, Riot Games, for having this next champion be kept under locks. For so long we have had champion after champion be leaked and have the hype ruined. They also teased the next mid-range mage Vastayan solo laner who was initially supposed to come out years earlier, but instead they got silenced because of a development detour. I'm actually curious on how that happened. Either way, Brightmoon and Meddler come back to announce the new upcoming champion that they are working on. It is then announced that Mbessa Medarda will be coming to League, making her technically the first Arcane to League champion ever, and I'm all for it. Now, if they can also bring in Savika, I think I can die a happy man with that in mind. Continuing on the topic of Arcane, it is announced that there will be even more Arcane-inspired gameplay, a new VGU, and Arcane-inspired skins. This is truly the year for Arcane folks, let me tell you. They also show a clip of the new season of Arcane, so if you want to go into the season completely blind, go to this timestamp listed here. Okay, 3, 2, 1, action. It opens up with Singed having tubes come out of his arm that is transferring blood somewhere. All these canisters have this green light emanating from them that is then tainted away from Singed's blood. In Singed's hand is his pocket watch, while a music box-like tune plays in the background. It then finishes with a wide shot of Singed sitting in the center with Warwick being hung by chains. I can't wait to see what kind of chaos these two will unleash onto the world. Now, Singed, despite his popularity in the game, is one of League's most important characters. Without his presence, a lot of things would not have come to fruition. And remember that Arcane Season 2 premieres later this year, so until then, we have a ton of content to go through and enjoy. Now, being the person that I am, I decided to leave a comment on the Discussing Films Twitter post about the trailer for Season 2. And the comments I've received from it are some of the most heartfelt comments I have ever read. You're a sick fuck trying to get people addicted. Don't listen to this person. It's a trap. Lies and conspiracies. Hello, Satan. Do you think it's going to rain today, pal? And I even got featured in one of Loki's tweets. This is a really fucked up thing to do. Look, Mom, I'm making it out there in the world. Any hoozle. Next it goes to Riot Revenancer, who's the lead systems designer for the Motivations team. They do things like masteries, loot, honor, and to simplify things, they're the ones responsible on how the game rewards with how you do. To start, they are upcapping the level on champions. That way, you can really show how much you enjoy your mains. You unlock new versions of the mastery emotes with level 7 to 10, and from 11 and beyond, they'll add evolving numbers that displays your total mastery, and thankfully, whatever you're at with any champion right now will carry over to the next mastery system. We then go to Riot Cadmus and Riot Choo Choo Train from the modes team. Pretty interesting name, huh? Arena was a huge success, so to make it even grander, they're increasing the experimentation with changes to gameplay and game balances, as well as increasing the number of teams from 2 to 4. So instead of 2v2v2v2 game mode, it will become a 2v2v2v2v2v2v2v2. That will include new augments, new maps, with some of their improvements that are still being developed. But outside of Arena, it was announced that Earth is coming back for the Lunar New Year, followed up by One for All. Pretty exciting stuff to get hyped up about for those who like different game modes. It was also stated that they have another game mode cooking in the kitchen that, like Arena, will be a different take on League of Legends core gameplay. But unlike the chaotic nature of Arena, it's more of a chill mode to play with your friends. The next topic is about anti-cheat. For a while, there have been scripters, bots, and even smurfs running rampant that make the game either unplayable or worse, unfun. Along with that and their security breach last year, it wasn't fun for the security department, I'm sure. That's why they're going to be updating their security with the addition of Vanguard, their anti-cheat and anti-botting software, which will be required to have when playing any form of League of Legends. Although, a huge downside to that is, because of the software, the modding community will have an increasingly difficult time being able to mod things into the game, without the possibility of being accidentally detected and thereby banned. If the software detects any form of botting or cheating, the game will end, everyone will be refunded the LP, and only the cheater will be punished. That sounds good and all, but I really hope that Riot takes note of the modding community and hopefully implements some way to be able to safely mod things into the game that doesn't change the gameplay at all, just things visually. The second to last section of the video, we go over to 100 PC Nuggets, another interesting name, and Riot Hylia, who are both in the skins department. First, they bring up the list of the upcoming prestige skins that feature Rakan, Ezreal, Kindred, Evelynn, and Kayle. And I gotta say, outside of Ezreal, I really do like this list. It's nice to see champions that are underused in the skins department finally have a chance in the spotlight, even if they are prestige skins. Moving on to the ASUs that will feature Lee Sin and Teemo, Lee Sin's base is finalized and they've been working on all of his skins to ensure that everything matches up with his gameplay. Although Teemo, on the other hand, will take a little longer than anticipated, but there will be updates later on with how things are. Now, onto the skins. One new skin thematic that will be released is one that's called Heaven Scale for the Lunar New Year. This will have a more ancient take on the celebration, opposite to the more modern day ones like Firecracker and Lunar Beasts. Another new skin thematic that they're making is called Primal Ambush. This one takes, and I quote, inspiration from the refined skill of martial artists and the raw fierce strength of tigers themselves. Most of the inspiration comes from the southern Asian regions, so I'm quite interested to see how they transfer that into the game. I'm always a sucker for cultural inspirations. The returning thematics are ones like Porcelain, Fairy Court, Project, and Blood Moon. Hey Riot Games, come over here. You see the Soraka? You see her right there? Please, I'm begging you, please keep her skin color like that. I don't want another mythical creature with white skin, I'm begging you! In other news, older legendaries that don't have borders will have them added onto them, such as Broloff and Corporate Mundo, aka Moneyman, as well as Dragon Trainer Tristana. And to finish off the skin sections, they announced that champions that are in the 1000 Dano skin club like Rammus will be getting a new skin, along with Olaf, who will be right behind him. The final section before the wrap up is the 2024 Esports, with Global Head of League Esports Naz Ali Taha and Global Head of Strategy for League Esports Chris Greeley. Why don't they get cool Riot names? They announced there will be 3 base slots for the LPL, LCK, LEC, and LCS at Worlds. There will be new ways for teams and regions to earn additional slots. The LLA, CBLOL, PCS, and the VCS will remain unchanged, quotes Chris Greeley. The double elimination format will remain the same for MSI, except this year, the winning team at MSI will have a guaranteed spot at Worlds, making the stakes even higher for all the teams participating. One cool fact is the MSI this year will be held in the beautiful region of Chengdu, China, and the Worlds Finals will take place at the O2 Arena in London. Worlds will start in Berlin and then go over to the Adidas Arena in Paris, which will hold the quarterfinals and semifinals there. And to finish up the section of Worlds, to celebrate the players that have made an impact with their performance and skill, they will be introducing the LOL Esports Hall of Legends. So I imagine it will be something akin to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but for League. And now, to finish off the video, they remind us that this year will be a very important year for League of Legends, as it is its 15th anniversary. And if they're planning anything remotely as special as to what they did for the 10th anniversary, it's going to be hype. So to summarize, the new champion Smolder will be coming out, the Rift will change, Arcane will be coming out later this year, it's the 15th anniversary of League of Legends, Worlds will be held in London and MSI will have the stakes raised, the anti-cheat software Vanguard will be mandatory, Mel's mother is joining the game, Shyvana will be getting her VGU, Arena is coming back bigger than ever, new prestige skins for champions who don't get too many skins, the Lee Sin and Teemo visuals are cooking, the new skin thematics are Heaven Scale and Primal Ambush, and more Arcane themed skins and even an Arcane themed VGU will be released in the future. I gotta say, 2024 might be my favorite year with how much they're cooking up at Riot, and I cannot wait to experience it with you all. And with that said, I thank everyone who made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my Twitch, and with that, I will see you all on the Rift. Goodbye!